Welcome to History Lens Channel. This is a treasure trove of old and historical photos. In this video, we've brought you 85 unpublished historical photos that you can't miss. Please make sure to subscribe and like before you watch. Orgone accumulator, a device sold in 1950 to allow a person sitting inside to attract orgone, a massless healing energy. Bruce Lee doing 2-finger, 1-arm push-ups, ca. 1970 seconds. Nudity is God's creation, 1979. Together, an armless man, Charles Tripp, and a legless man, Eli Bowen, can ride a tandem. 1890 seconds. Nurse showing newspaper headline about polio vaccine to a man on chest respirator due to polio, 1955. A game of unicycle basketball in Harlem, c. 1960 seconds. As Soviets approached Berlin, the citizens of the city did their best to take care of zoo animals. 1945. Police officer unaware of the imminent danger. 1959. Night fishing, 1948. David Hensley, young child crippled by polio with both legs in braces, soliciting funds in public fundraising driver for a new polio hospital, 1948. Picture of male lovers from 1850 to 1950, when being gay was illegal. Portrait of a Navajo Native American, taken by Carl Moon, circa 1906. Portrait of a woman and baby, Jemez Pueblo, New Mexico in 1914. London, 1899. Photo by Leonard Misson. Portrait of a Sami family, Norway, circa 1890. Edward Boucher became the first African American to earn a PhD in the U.S. when he completed his dissertation in physics at Yale in 1976. Jitterbugging on a Saturday evening, Mississippi, 1939. London's most miniature shop. A shoe salesman with a 1.2 square meter shoe store, 1900. 1945. Joe Rosenthal snapped 4 U.S. Marines raising the American flag atop Japan's Mount Suribachi after the battle for Iwo Jima on February 23, in what would become an iconic image of American military determination, recreated in statues and icons in the following decades. Only 3 of the men would make it back to the U.S. 1945. A sailor and a woman's kiss in New York's Times Square went from P-Day to an iconic image representing the joy surrounding the end of World War II on August 14th. The two went unidentified for years after the picture was published. But Greta Friedman, who is claimed to be the woman in the photo, later said she didn't know the sailor before he kissed her. 1968. After African-American athletes, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, won gold and bronze medals in the 200-meter run at the Olympic Games, they raised their fists while on the awards podium in a Black Power salute during the national anthem in a protest against racial discrimination in the United States. 1972. On June 8, Associated Press photographer Nick Ut captured children fleeing from a napalm bombing during the Vietnam War. The photo went on to win a Pulitzer Prize and inform viewers far and wide of the war's real-life horror. Vandis Kim Foos, the girl in the middle of the photo, survived the bombing. 1980. The U.S. men's hockey team won an underdog victory over the defending 4-time gold medal Soviet team at the Winter Olympics. The shocking victory came amid tensions from the Cold War and inspired a movie called Miracle on Ice. 1989. After nearly 28 years, the Berlin Wall began to come down as Cold War tensions thawed across Europe, and communist leaders in East Berlin allowed for relations with the West to loosen. It would be more than a year before the wall was fully demolished and democracy could take hold. Roland, a 4,000-pound elephant seal, getting a snow bath from his handler at Berlin Zoo, Germany in C-1000 1930. A photograph of Edinburgh, Scotland from the sky, taken by Alfred J. Buckham in 1920 seconds. Amiens Cathedral, photographed during World War I, showing the walls lined with sandbags in order to protect the building from artillery, taken in Amiens, France in 1918. One of the largest and heaviest horses ever recorded, Brooklyn Supreme, photographed in C-1940 seconds. He stood 19.2 hands, 198 km, 6 feet 6 in, tall and weighed 3,200 lb/lb, 1,400 lb/lb, 1 kilogram. Three young boys sit in a wagon in a Pittsburgh neighborhood street, 1920, 1930. Unbelievably stunning couple. Love how their hands are clasped together. 1960 seconds. Dutch boy with a pillow strapped on his backside to soften the falling on ice while skating. 1933. Three female students walk in the city of Kabul, Afghanistan. 1972. Federico Caprilli demonstrates the skills of his horse as part of the esteemed Italian Cavalry School. 1906. A Native American sends smoke signals in Montana. June 1909. A photograph of a little boy carrying a newborn lamb in Scotland. 1932. The opening of the Eiffel Tower during the 1089 World's Fair. Photo of lumberjacks cutting trees in Pacific Northwest. USA 1915. A lovely photo of a brother and sister. I love their fashions and her purse. Chicago, 1945. A woman churning milk to butter while reading a book. 1897. Portrait of a mother and her daughter, photographed in 1910. Cyclist from Estonia on a self-made bicycle. 1912. A female firefighting team on a converted motorcycle in London. 1932. In 1925, residents of the small town of Nome, Alaska faced a potentially fatal epidemic and very few options to save them from death. That is, until Balto showed up, a sled dog who rose to the occasion and saved the small town from certain death. Let the people see what they did to my boy. That's what Emmett Till's mother said after she saw her 14-year-old son's mutilated body in 1955. On this day in 1947, Norwegian adventurer Thor Heyerdahl came ashore in French Polynesia. For Americans, the Cold Wars were a series of armed conflicts from the 1990 seconds to the 1930 seconds in 1930 seconds in which the exploitation of mining workers led to riots, and then outright battles between the workers and the armed mercenaries hired by mining companies to terrorize and kill them. The wrong turn that driver made in 1914. A photo of Freddie Mercury, 1958. A young Agatha Christie. Old men remove the preserved carcass of a juvenile mammoth that was unintentionally excavated from the permafrost in Siberia in 1977 by a miner's bulldozer. He died at the age of 8 months, named Dima after a local creek, some 40,000 years ago. His stomach still contained traces of his mother's milk. The 1973 Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph Burst of Joy, taken by Salvador, a former U.S. prisoner of war, is shown being reunited with his family. Two girls gallop full speed on sheep in Cornwall, England, 1969. Photo by John Drysdale. Photo of a Soviet war veteran near the Eternal Flame on the anniversary of Victory Day, 1966. Teenagers dressed for a high school dance in 1920 seconds. In 1902, 18-year-old Alice Roosevelt was known for her rebellious and independent spirit. Alice was known for her unusual habits, such as wearing pants, driving cars, smoking cigarettes, betting with bookies, and dancing on rooftops. Willie one-room schoolhouse in Florida, 1870 seconds. A group of people at the beach, Atlantic City, New Jersey, 1910. A saloon that allowed children their own child-size beers, Wisconsin, 1890. Pink Floyd concert in Venice in 1989. Brazilian girl refusing to shake hands with military dictator João Figueiredo. This photo was taken in 1979. A photo of a Japanese samurai archer taken in 1970. A French woman pours cider for a British gunner in Lisieux, France, 22 August 1944. Schoolgirls in gas masks, World War II. Albert Einstein, his secretary Helen, left, and daughter Margaret, right, becoming U.S. citizens to avoid returning to Nazi Germany, 1940. West German schoolchildren pause to talk with two East German border guards beside an opening in the Berlin Wall during the collapse of communism in East Germany in November 1989. Photo Stephen Jaffeth. Group of friends enjoys the beach and sun in 1940 seconds. In RV at Nunavut, northern Canada, 1949, an Inuit girl descends into her ice igloo house. In the middle of a celebration, a young woman from Oaxaca, Mexico, notices she is being photographed and gives a look to the camera. 1985. A sailor meets his baby for the first time after 14 months at sea. 1940 seconds. This photo shows Margaret Ann Neve, an American woman who passed away in 1902 after reaching the age of 110. This woman was born in 1902, which means she lived in 3 centuries. Princess of Egypt and Iranian Queen Fawzia Fuad, c. 1939. (1968). My grandfather in the Second Korean War. (112-year-old veteran of Double One and Russian Civil War, Timur Zvenacha, and his son Ivan, a veteran of W2 in 1980. Sisters in Skirts, 1950 seconds. Blackfoot Chief Two Guns, White Calf, early 1900 seconds. A mother and daughter hamming it up for the camera, K 1900. Republican Party supporters and Democratic Party supporters fight with snowballs in front of the Capitol. January 1921, Washington, USA. Vintage photograph of a kid wearing a monkey mask. 1920 seconds. Barack Obama visiting his step-grandmother Sarah Ogwell Onyango Obama, Kenya, 1980. Sarah Obama, affectionately called Grandma Sarah by the former U.S. president, was the third and youngest wife of Obama's grandfather. Photograph from the 1993 Great Flood, when James Scott intentionally sabotaged a levee, triggering a massive Mississippi River flood to delay his wife's return home, allowing him to keep partying. Titanic orphans, brothers Michael and Edmund Navratil, 1912. They were the only children to be rescued from the Titanic without a parent or guardian. Mixtec woman from Osaka in her traditional dress, 1,019 seconds. They share land with the Zapotecs, which is an entirely different ethnic group. Lucky British soldier showing off his damaged helmet, 1,019 Her Majesty Queen Marie of Romania, 1,896. Mayan women in the Yucatan Peninsula around 1952. The dress is called the Mayan hupil,